Hey, this is Shayla of Ascension Cure, and I want to tap into a couple of things. This is a live stream on my TikTok that will probably be shared on YouTube and my Patreon channel. Don't forget to check me out at www.ascensioncure.shop for private sessions and readings and classes and mentorship and DNA activation. I wanted to tap into something really quickly because I have spent my whole day engrossed into this kind of documentary on YouTube. And it is of Elena Danaan. She is the author of A Gift from the Stars and We Will Never Let You Down. She is very heavily connected to galactic information, disclosure. Her books are very well known in the galactic community. Speaking of different species of galactics, the Galactic Federation of Worlds that is helping uncoil our planet and supporting us in our ascension process. She goes into the Greys, aliens, and how they've been manipulating humanity and doing a lot of crazy stuff. Great books. I have posted reviews on those books on my page. So I've talked about this before. If you have not gotten into her books, go get into them. But this is what got me tickled today. So also, if you've been following me, then you know the reason probably why you're here is due to my Annunaki series. I did a book review last year on a book called The Annunaki Return of 2022. That book was written by Maximilian D. Lafayette. If you want to catch up on it, go check my videos. I do a detailed review about what those books were detailing. And they were really talking about the human origin being connected to the Anunnaki. And they were really talking about the Annunaki Return of 2022, which is slated to happen later this year. And about the process that it would take for humanity to awaken and rise to a new frequency, new earth vibrations, right? It all ties in. Thought it was super cool, super interesting. So of course I shared it, right? And throughout that just awakening and just understanding and tapping in to understanding what the Anunnaki are, where they come from, and all of these symbolisms that are so deeply embedded into our world, from the Sumerian texts, from the argument of Enki and Enlil, the Anunnaki brothers, from the idea that the Anunnaki came here and built humans to mine gold, all of these things, right, that we have tapped into or come across in this awakening moment, right? If you're here, at some point you've heard about the Anunnaki. At some point you've heard about Galactics. At some point you've heard about, all of these things, reptilians, greys. But what I found amazing, right? And I'm building you guys up so I can break down this documentary that I was watching all day, because it really just enlightened me to a whole nother level. Because as I was following Elena Danaan, her books, which I found to be very profound, and a lot of her experiences were very parallel to experiences I've had for myself personally. So I really respected her being so open and disclosing her experiences, her teleportations, her galactic connections with other beings, the Pleiadians, working with how things work in our galaxy so that we can become more open-minded as more information flows in, right? I loved her book, We Will Never Let You Down, which was released in September of 2021. It literally went through what was happening galactically throughout the year of 2021, right? All of the things from January 6th, from the storm on the Capitol, to different things happening, like the ocean being on fire, like the war on the moon, all of these things that are happening outside of our sphere of understanding, right? But we are directly connected to us. Even still, she never mentioned the Anunnaki. And all of these things that she spoke about, she never mentioned the Anunnaki. And I found that to be odd, because I just felt so connected to the vibration and frequency of the Anunnaki. And for her to be so deeply embroiled into, galactic messaging, that she never mentioned them. But it wasn't until January of this year where I kind of got the sense that something was going to pop off, right? Because in January of this year, she does a lot of interdimensional traveling. She details how she goes on different ships, works with different galactic beings, and so on and so forth, right? So as she was talking and pertaining to galactic disclosure, she said that, this was in January on one of her videos, she said that she had an experience with a group of galactics calling themselves the galactic confederation of some sort, right? I might be saying that wrong. But she said that these beings were called the Cedar race, right? The Cedar, the creator of worlds, the creator of other races, and that they had entered into our airspace, and that they would be the ones to take over disclosure. Not the enter the Galactic Confederation of Worlds, or the Galactic Federation of Worlds, with the Pleiadians and other beings of our galaxy that work together. No, now that there was a new, highly evolved race that sent heralds and heralds and heralds of ships to Earth, specifically to enact disclosure. And she referred to them as the Cedars. Now, my intuition popping like it's popping, I'm already knowing that's the Anunnaki. I felt it, I knew it, I trusted it. That was just my personal confirmation, right? I never heard her speak of the Anunnaki, but she's talking about this new race that was headed directly to Earth, and I was intrigued. After that, we started seeing a whole lot of UFO sightings. Lots of shifts and changes have happened around our planet since January, right? But then today, as I'm just chilling, mind my business, vibing, I come across this video of hers, and it's on YouTube. This video is called I Met Enki. Okay? Elena Danaan, Earth's emissary, the Galactic Federation of Worlds, shares her experiences of meeting Enki. Now, she has never spoken about Anunnaki before, but in this, she details this video, because she does lots of updates after you read her books and you tap in. She has a whole wealth of resources on YouTube that will support you in understanding how these things are working around us, right? This video is about an hour and 38 minutes long, and I have been tapped in, tuned in, because it's making so much sense. And her experience of being introduced to Enki, and understanding the true origin of the whole Enki Enlil story. Enlil being brothers, Enki and Enlil being brothers who came from another dimension, who eventually, created humanity as we know it now, right? Enlil being the, bad brother who wanted to pretty much enslave humanity, which he was able to kind of do in a lot of ways. And Enki, who was a geneticist, who imparted his DNA, his high vibratory DNA, into a group of humans throughout his whole genetic experiment, giving some of them 12-strand DNA activation already. So already being in tune, making them in the likeness of himself. Sound familiar? Right. I never really tapped too deeply into the whole Enki and Enlil story, because I knew that there was a lot of misconception about what that was, right? But I know what they were talking about. So she goes on to talk about her meeting with Enki and how beautifully radiant his being, his spirit was, how he explained to her a lot of the things that we were given bits and pieces of, but not the entire truth, right? How the brothers came onto this earth and things kind of went left. We ain't gonna lie, we see it, right? Things kind of went left. So also discussing about Enki's return, which would be the Anunnaki's return, right? I just find it so interesting, the coincidence of this collision of information, because I have been patiently waiting for specifically her, amongst some of the other intergalactic channelers, to mention the Anunnaki and their arrival into our sphere. She just confirmed it. I knew it, and I didn't quite know how to package that into a shared message, because I was sitting with it and processing it in my own accord. But this is a very interesting video to watch. I Met Enki by Elena Danaan. Very dope video. Tap in, watch it. It just came out June 27th. So this is very up-to-date kind of processes. She's writing a new book on her experiences with Enki. And I just think this is super cool. Pretty much we are definitely in that corridor of shifting our planet, of changing our planet. So much energy has been being sent to our planet. She also mentions how the moon is now a hub for a lot of high frequency energy, how the med beds, the healing chambers, are being created and crafted on our moon. All of this intergalactic, events happening around us. And they got us thinking about Roe versus Wade and all of this other little stuff. Meanwhile, we are in an interplanetary immersion, and nobody's talking about it. That's why I'm here. I'm going to talk about it because we're in it. This ascension process is very real. And there's so many moving parts. There's so many pieces. There's so many parts that make this whole, right? And we also have to give ourselves, the understanding that some of this information is so intense or intricate that it takes bits and pieces together to make it make sense to us. We have to put together the puzzle pieces of what our world is looking like, because some of it honestly is above our pay grade. Energetically speaking, as we are processing our ascension, it will become easier and easier to understand and to process this energy and this information. But I just wanted to share this because I think this is really amazing. I'm going to be keeping my eye out for her book. I'm going to just be, perusing the information that comes to me, because in all of this starseed stuff and all this Anunnaki stuff, I just found what came to me. I am a true proponent and believer that when you are ready, the information will find you. And this energy found me. So just like the Return of the Anunnaki 22 books found me, just like her book, A Gift from the Stars, found me. So I just thought this was so amazing and something worth talking about, worth going live about, worth making a video about, so that we could create some deeper discussions about this new information and putting together with what we know or what we think we know and the new information that is becoming available to us. Because I think a lot of that is going to happen specifically now, as CERN is turning on their wild energy particle collider. I feel like that is going to support us in ways that we can't imagine. They turned it on in 2012 and it didn't quite work. Got a little glitchy. Hopefully they worked out the glitches, because I do believe it's going to allow us to operate in the frequency of our desire and our design so much easier. Hence why it's so very important to be guarding your energy frequency right now. This is one thing Elena Danaan speaks about continuously in all of her works, is it is important to keep your vibration high. As we move into higher dimensions, we have to be high vibrating. We have to be, and so many of us are getting it. This mass awakening that's happening, all of us who are aligning with one another, aligning with the light, aligning with how to heal ourselves, aligning with how to lift our vibrations, how to operate in all of our gifts. It's time. This is going to be really, really yummy. And so I thank you guys who are watching me live. I will be saving this and uploading this live video to YouTube and to my Patreon. I found that going live on TikTok and saving the videos is so much of a better format for me, because I am a novice recorder and I am all about trying to tap in. I see your message, but I'm not going to answer on here. I will tap in with you via email. And yes, we'll be back at another date in time to discuss this deeper, but I want to know what you think. Are the Anunnaki back? Are you ready for them? Are you open to hearing a new perspective of the Anunnaki and, the history that we have with them? I am. All right. Talk to you soon.